Visit one of the darkest days in Texas and our nation's history. The moment a gunman took the lives of 19 students and 2 teachers in Uvalde. It happened 3.5 years ago. Accountability has felt distant for the victims' families. But in just 1 week, a trial begins for one officer accused of not doing enough to stop the shooting. What you are about to see tonight is difficult. It is not for younger viewers. But this story matters because it shows how the lessons of Uvalde continue to shape school safety, law enforcement response, and a fight for justice. Here's Jobin Panikkar.
It is one of the deadliest school shootings in our country's history.
I had hoped I would not have to do this again. Another massacre, Uvalde, Texas.
And then he came in and he crouched a little bit and he said it's time to die.
May 24th, 2022. A horribly tragic day made worse by what we've learned weeks, months, and years later.
Uvalde County 911.
Salvador Ramos texted a friend that day his deadly plans. Then, in the span of 2 hours, coldly carried them out.
I'm going to shoot my grandmother. The second post was, I shot my grandmother. The third post, maybe less than 15 minutes before arriving at the school, was, I'm going to shoot an elementary school.
DPS first reported a teacher had left the back door open. We learned later that was wrong.
The exterior door was propped open by a teacher.
DPS said that's how Ramos got into Robb Elementary. That's how he got into room 111. Remember the faces of the victims, 19 students and 2 teachers. But remember this too, the number 77. Authorities tell us 77 minutes passed between the moment Ramos entered the school and when tactical teams finally breached the doors to kill him.
They take rounds. They move back. Get cover.
The question, what took so long? And is still being asked 3 years later.
We all ran right there by the gate, didn't let no one in.
Starting with the police response on May 24th, 2022.
Really couldn't.
One that reports reveal resembled a barricaded subject rather than an active shooter.
Really couldn't tell who was or who wasn't.
By June of that year, we had the first images of the response.
Take cover, guys.
And the man who carries the brunt of the scrutiny. Former Chief Pete Arredondo.
We haven't contained. There's probably going to be some deceased in there, but we don't need any more from out here.
Months later, in July, a Texas House report describes, quote, systemic failures and egregiously poor decision-making. Between 2022 and 2024, the release of public information was slow. News stations and newspapers had to file multiple legal challenges against the school district, the city, the county, and DPS. 2023 introduced a number of school public safety bills. One bill allotted $1.1 billion for safety upgrades. Another compelled districts to create active shooter plans and mental health training. That same bill, House Bill 3, mandated an armed security guard at every school and weekly exterior door checks. Many districts say the state funding was not enough to carry these out.
We do everything to protect these guns. Let's just try something to protect our children.
But some bills after Uvalde did not pass. Most notably, one that raised the age to buy a semi-automatic gun from 18 to 21.
Did you think we would go home? Enough is enough. Please do something.
A number of victim families left Austin angry and disappointed.
We can't even imagine the pain that they felt.
In July of 2023, Uvalde's mayor, Don McLaughlin Jr., resigned to run for the 80th House District on a platform to fix active threat response.
I know.
2 years after the mass shooting, in June of 2024, 2 officers are charged and indicted. 2 of the 400 officers who responded, former Chief Arredondo and former school district officer Adrian Gonzales for child endangerment and abandonment.
We have another Sandy Hook on our hands. What are we doing?
The former Mayor McLaughlin would win the seat in November of 2024. In April of 2025, the Uvalde Strong bill passes in the Texas legislature, which requires better coordination and leadership during an active shooter situation. 6 months later, in October of 2025, the newly built Legacy Elementary welcomed students. Which brings us to January of 2026. Adrian Gonzales will have his day in court in Corpus Christi. He's pleaded not guilty. Arredondo's trial hasn't been set yet.
Can you hear me, sir?
Pending federal legal challenges.
Can you hear me, sir?
Time has brought some clarity, corrected some initial reports from that day. People even vindicated.
You see me kick the rug and pull the door.
But for this teacher accused of propping the door open, the damage is done.
You chose to blame me.
So much has happened, so much emotion.
Trust in his strength.
In 3 years, and yet the victims' families feel there's so little accountability.
When you can't walk, when you can't get up.
Beyond the actions of one deranged shooter.
He'll lift you up.
How deep is your love, Father?
On one deadly day.
Restore us, Father, in Jesus' mighty name.
A day that will be remembered and recorded forever. I'm Jobin Pueniker.
WFAA will have gavel-to-gavel coverage once that trial begins. Now is a good time to download our streaming app WFAA Plus, where this exclusive coverage will be. WFAA Plus is free to download to your TV.